Right. Should we do this? I'm Richard Porter.
I'm Jonny Smith.
And this is Smith and Sniff, a podcast celebrating its 100th episode live from Baldock Services. Yay!
Yeah!
Well,
the Century.
Century.
Someone kindly pointed out the Toyota Century. Now is the best time to celebrate a small accolade in the world of our podcast with a Toyota Century.
Well, based on my last look for Toyota Centuries for sale online, which was about 2 days ago.
No, it's not long ago.
There's that one that's always... Oh, what was that?
It's my hourly chime.
Oh. Yeah, there's that one that's always on Car and Classic, but it's not actually for sale anymore. It's long since sold from that place in Middlesbrough.
Oh, I thought you were about to
listed.
say... I thought you were about to say it's for sale, but they won't sell it anymore. They're one of those people that has a car for sale, but they vet you first. They go, yeah, it is for sale, but you're not right for it, so I'm going to wait a bit longer for somebody else.
Wasn't that Britain's leading Nissan Figaro seller for a while? Was this woman who had sort of cornered the market in second-hand Figaros?
Yeah.
But she wouldn't sell you one if she didn't like you.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of cars these days which require a salesperson to be like that. I'm going to put the words BMW M Sport out there.
Well, many years ago, I was at some function, like an awards thing, sitting next to a PR from Aston Martin. And I said to her, you know, you need to be more aggressive about refusing to sell your cars to certain people. And then you can corner the market in selling cars to people who aren't twats and leave the twats to Bentleys and Lamborghinis and things. And she...
Fair.
Yeah, she sort of steadfastly refused to acknowledge the points I was making, and it all got a bit awkward because I was like,
were you drunk,
seriously? Yeah, I might have had a wine.
So were you a bit close to her face when you were talking?
It was a bit spitty.
You kept leaning in.
If I just kind of agree with everything you're saying, will you stop gossing on me?
Yeah.
We are here at Baldock Services, which is sort of our spiritual home.
Worryingly, it is.
Because we used to meet here when we made videos.
Yeah, and if you're a listener of this and you've never watched the videos many moons ago, I actually can't remember when we started doing the videos. It's bad.
4 years ago?
It's got to be 4 or 5.
I reckon we had 2 years of videos before COVID came along, and now we're at about 2 years of podcasts.
So we used to do a weekly, mildly successful video. I'm going to use the word mild. The mildest of cheddar. You know when you go into the supermarket and it's extra mild. It's that.
I don't really like cheese. Have you got anything milder?
Yeah, so it was that, and we used to film it in this car park of the service station. It's not the best motorway services. There's nothing distinctive about it. I'm looking over my shoulder.
I think that's partly what we like about it, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's mediocrity.
It is. It is.
It's not one of your big, flashy, showy Warwick services. Oh, look, I'm quite new. I'm Oxford Services. Look at my glass atrium shit.
Oh, no. And there's no artisanal bread.
No.
Like Gloucester Services.
No. Or, I always forget the name of that really nice one.
Not the one in Kendal that looks
like
the 60s spaceship.
Oh, no, the one further up that's... someone will write in about this.
Yeah.
It's the one that's like a farm shop, basically, and it's delightful.
Oh, yeah, I might go there next week.
You can buy...
swing in.
Eccles cakes and stuff that are really nice.
Oh, like northern cakes?
Yeah, northern cakes.
Brilliant.
Just stop off with some northern cakes
and a pickled egg. And a pipette of water, because strong northern men don't drink water.
I wouldn't have the water at all. Maybe just a handful of sand and then...
And a tea bag.
Or leave the tea bag in so long that the tea actually will stay in the cup.
It's gel. It's tea gel.
It's tea gel.
Isn't it? It's gel. You could do that. You could tip it upside down and tip it back really quick and it'd be all right.
Take the bag out. No, leave it in till it becomes a meal.
The tannins are strong in this one.
Yeah.
That's their Obi-Wan Kenobi line.
Good for you.
And then they smile at you and their teeth have gone from white to brown in one cup of tea. That's it.
What, like when Simon Cowell had his teeth done and they were too white?
Yeah, it was just full beam with LED
freaky.
matrix
He
headlights.
should have just had a nice cup of proper northern tea. and that would have taken them down a treat.
Yeah, Simon Cowell's messed around with his face a little too much now. Now you don't know what the baseline, baseline tune is anymore. Same with Madonna. Don't know what's going on. What's going on?
Yeah, Madonna's probably now impossible to return to stock, isn't she? She's just like it's modding too far.
Oh, completely.
And
stock.
It's also there were those pictures.
She's in her mid or late 60s.
Yeah, and there were those pictures of her sort of semi in the nip the other week, weren't there? And
under a bed?
Under a bed, where she just looked like she'd lost. So she's like, "Where are those fucking shoes? I knew they're somewhere." The only reason I go under our bed, I think.
Do you know what I genuinely thought? I thought she'd tripped and fallen.
Well, she has a history.
And you always get told when you're learning about medical matters, don't move the person, just in case they've got a terrible spine injury.
But she'd gone under the bed, like she must have fallen while running.
She tripped forward and gone under, but wasn't she wearing like underwear?
Like pants, yeah.
She was wearing some sort of sexy lacy pants or something. Yeah. So it was half sexual. Or trying to be, and half 9999 incident.
Just say half. It was half a Rosper advert.
Yeah. Well, do you know what? There's been all sorts of instances. I know that usually it's the fire service that see all the weirdest stuff. You know, like some guy that's just put.
Oh yeah.
Just put his penis into a tap.
Yeah. So I fell backwards onto the banister. That's what happened. I fell backwards onto.
I told you this before. My mate Dan, who's a radiographer, says the stuff we get in, it's usually on a night shift, and he works at the Bristol Royal Infirmary. So obviously they only look after people that sort of were alive in the 90s, and this guy came in, and he had a full height hairspray can wedged into his backside.
Oh my god!
And he couldn't get it out.
Did he still have hairspray in it?
Do you know what he claimed? This was the best thing. Dan said, it's just not a surprise to me anymore. The bloke just genuinely said, I slipped over while I was showering myself.
Of course.
And it fell up there. And he just went, just so everyone's clear. A, hairspray in a shower. And B, it's nearly a 10-inch tall can. And he said, how big's your shower? Because if you've got a small square shower pan, you're going for a really quite a smooth...
Yeah. Anyway. You've got like a walk-in, a wet room maybe.
It could be wet room. In fact, that's a John Peel session. Wet room Jacksy.
2 more from wet room accident after this. I have a lot of questions. I don't know whether I should ask them about that. Was the cap on the hairspray?
Yes, it was. But the problem was, I think when they removed the cap stayed.
Yeah.
So it required another medical intervention.
But better that in a way than the cap being off, and as it went up there, then it triggers the top, and the bloke's arse cavity is now just filling with hairspray. I mean, he'd be like a powder keg, wouldn't he?
Please don't. I've just realised because it's our 100th episode, I did actually bring along a cheeky little bottle of Brut that we could just throw a bit on.
Oh.
I've realised I think it's under the microphone.
Oh, well, don't move the microphone now. That's probably...
We're actually set in a Tesla Model Y.
Yeah.
And I know, I should have probably mentioned that.
We are. So we're at Baldock Services, which for people who don't know Baldock Services, perhaps because you don't live in Britain, it's a small service area on a sort of not proper motorway. Yeah. It's on the A1.
The original Great North Road.
Yeah, the original trunk road, the original sort of long distance road in the whole of England. And
Dick Turpin used to hang around on here.
Yeah.
The highwayman.
It's like a main road but not proper motorway at this point. It sometimes becomes a proper motorway, then gets bored of that and becomes a road again.
It's the most proper motorway near Peterborough. It goes into 4 lanes.
It's like 4 lanes, isn't it? 8 lane, like super highway.
Feels almost American.
Yes, just because it's very flat landscape.
Flat landscape, 4 abreast, quite new tarmac, and for just a bit. And sometimes you see military police, US military police.
Sometimes you see American cars because of the American service people. Yeah, so it's, I sometimes like to complete the effect by driving on the wrong side of the road.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I saw a couple of months ago. I saw a lady weaving in a Honda Odyssey,
Oh.
With obviously an American import car with American-sized number plates on it.
Yeah, yeah.
I think she might have dropped something in the footwell, but was doing that sort of twitchy.
Yeah. The Odyssey's a nice-looking car, I think, as MPVs go. It looks very planted, sits well. I've always admired those as MPVs go. I'm not going, oh my God, best looking car in the world. For me, it's between the Alfa Tipo 33 Stradale and the Honda Odyssey. But as Straydale,
which is what I used to think it was.
There's speaking of which, there's a Ferrari 360 parked over there in this car park.
Oh yeah.
Which I don't know why that should be. It's just, it feels like it's too sexy for Bulldog services.
Yeah, and since we frequented this, there is a rapid charger network at Ionity. Charges over there. I can see an ID3 just giving itself a refuel. And
ooh,
what?
My up's coming. You know, I said the lease company claimed they'd got stock, and I was thinking.
And you're thinking,
I hope
you're calling BS.
It's coming in, well, just before the end of the month.
Oh wow, that is soon.
Basically, next week.
So your Porsche will have gone by then.
I hope so. If you're listening to this on the day it goes out, my Porsche auction on collecting cars ends this evening. So if it's not too late to do a cheeky bid.
You're just trying to sell your. See, here's me having never owned a Porsche. You're just trying to get rid of yours,
well,
like some sort of like. You're trying to get it like getting rid of the ingrowing hair on my neck that I haven't been able to get rid of for some time.
Have you?
Yeah, and it's one of those ones. I think the more self-surgery I've tried, the worse it's definitely got.
Yeah, that can happen. I'd imagine it's the same when you've accidentally shoved a hairspray can up your bunghole.
Yeah.
It's just, I mean, there's so many things in the world that you could pop up your jacksie if you so chose, but a hairspray can.
But a tall one.
They're flat topped.
It's flat top. It's not like can of whipped cream, which tends to have a domed.
You know when they're doing like home improvements and they have those jacks they put under lintels and stuff to hold them up while they're dicking around with load bearing.
Like a bottle jack.
A bottle jack, yeah. I feel like you need one of those to get your.
Oh, I thought you were thinking that was a great alternative.
Well, I don't know, but
you're just going to walk around like the paddock at a motorsport event and go, that would fit in my arse. Yeah, that's fantastic.
Look at that nose cone off an old Benetton F1 car. That'd go nicely up the old
where the
pipe,
sun don't shine.
Where the sun don't shine. Yeah, no,
I don't. I mean, it's not what I was expecting us to talk
about.
But I was going to talk about scale working engines.
Oh yeah, why do they go? Did your mate find one up someone's arse?
No, but
is that a spinning Jenny up your bum? What's going on?
But it could power something like that. You know those stationary engines at agricultural shows? My brother has one. We've talked about it before.
Yeah.
You want to always demonstrate them powering something. Well, I mean, it would be a little bit Pornhub if you went to just a traditional steam rally.
What, with like an enormous...
It's a bloke with a lister,
machine-powered dildo.
It's got a flywheel that's about 400 kilos, and it's just pistoning this all... Well, there's another bloke just spooning goose fat onto the area.
Oh my God!
Just going, it'll do this all day. It'll do this all day. It'll do this all day.
Now, Ken, we've had some complaints from the other exhibitors that your static engine's too sexy. It's it's got a massive false cock on it, and we just there's kiddies at the show, Ken. Come on,
yeah.
There's kiddies. It's a family event. It's
on a cam. I know. I do know. I know that you whittled it with your wood lathe. But it's very realistic.
It's dirty. It's very dirty what you've done here, and we're going to have to ask you to leave. If you can't. The mayoress practically fainted when she saw it.
Oh, yeah.
You dirty bastard.
Imagine, you're turning a steam rally into a sort of smutty event.
Well, you know these sort of clubs, these little clubs, it happens a lot, I think, in car owners' clubs, sort of one-make things, where there's factions. And sometimes there's almost like a sort of bloodless coup, and a different faction will will take over.
Yeah.
You know, sort of a Porsche club will suddenly get overrun by like 944 enthusiasts, and all the 911 people get a bit huffy.
They'll get annoyed about
Which I think there really was with one of the Porsche clubs. There was some kind of massive sort of coup.
But that's sort of racist. Is that Porsche racism?
There's a bit.
Isn't it?
Yes. Yeah, but they're not very accepting of others, are they? The Porsche people. It's like, you know.
So if I had a 914, if I went, I've got a 914, they go, that's just a VW engine Porsche, and you know it.
Yeah.
So therefore, you're not really with us because it's a flat 4.
Yeah, but you know, like how birds of prey, often you see them getting like attacked and chased away by crows. And it's like, fuck off, crows! Leave that majestic kestrel or whatever alone. I reckon you turn up
surround it like MiG fighter jets,
they do,
and they peck each side. They go in, they swoop in. It's incredible to watch.
Yeah, but I think if you turned up with, you know, like a 959, thinking you'd be king of the club, actually you'd be like one of those beautiful birds of prey. Where I think the lesser Porsche owners, they'd start pecking at you, maybe literally, and you'd get chased away. But no, I was thinking that if you know, it's very easy for these clubs because they are sort of hotbeds of politics and infighting and things. But you've got some kind of static engine club that gets overtaken or taken over by perverts, and suddenly all the static engines are being used to do slightly sexual things. And the sort of your trad Fred Dibner types are just driven away by it. I had to leave the club.
Actually, half of them are like they're intrigued. They're like, it's smutty, I'll give you that. But you know what? I watched a bit more of it the other night.
I'm a broad-minded sort of bloke, and you know, each to their own. But some of it's very intricate. The carving work on the ends, on the bell piece, if you like, as we call it.
Bell piece. Oh gosh, Richard! Is it stooped on the 100th episode?
Well,
so badly.
Yes. How was the 100th episode?
I'm trying to think of like famous 100 related things in the automotive world that we could spark up a chit chat, and all I could think of was Audi 100.
Yeah,
and that's it.
I was going to be terribly clever and go, I've made a list of cars with 100 in the name, and we can chat about that. And I forgot to do it, but also because I thought of the Audi 100, and then I kind of went, okay, and the Rover 100.
Oh yeah, the Rover 100, which was the artist formerly known as the Metro.
Yes. Yeah. And that's sort of it.
It sort of ended quite quickly. What did the Audi 100 become? Did it become
the A6?
Did it become the A6?
Yeah.
Because the 80 became the A4.
Yeah. But the 100 actually had a midlife transformation in the same body shell to become the A6, whereas the A4, it was like when the generation changed, it became.
Because it did the whole boxy to aero thing, which was quite a big change for Audi. Audi went into that massive aero era.
Yeah.
Aero era.
Aero era. Yeah, so it was, yes, it was a good era, that. I was talking about that on Twitter the other week, about the Audi 80, the Aero 80 was you sort of forget what an amazing looking car that was.
It was a great car. And in fact, there's a guy that's converted one in Ireland to electric.
Really?
An 80 Avant.
Oh.
And it looks wonderful because it looks stock.
Yeah.
And he uses it most days, but it's got the guts of an EV. I forget which guts. It's a combination. It's like a Tesla motor with Leaf batteries or something. But
okay.
Needless to say, I was impressed. It looked cool.
That's good.
It were cool, that was. It were cool. Problem was, it were at the steam rally and it boot opened and it had a load of smutty tools in it with reciprocating saw with dick on end.
Yeah, I went to open door. He's replaced all the handles with flashlights, the mucky bastards.
A big hydraulic drift handbrake that's basically just a huge veiny dong.
So why were you going to bring up scale engines?
Oh, scale engines, because I'm trying to wean my son off watching shit stuff on YouTube.
Me too.
Just to be completely frank.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to come across it as a sort of like old, grumpy git. So I was trying to dial into what I know he's interested in. He's interested in minutiae, and he likes people that make dioramas and stuff, which is, I think he shares that interest with me.
Okay.
So I thought, well, hang on, and he likes engines and stuff. Whenever he hangs out with my brother, Uncle Greg. Of course, Uncle Greg's always got oily hands.
Yeah.
So dealing with piston-related matters. So I said, did you know that people make real engines, but they're tiny? And he went, what? Do they put them in stuff? And I said, some of them do.
Well, yeah.
Some of them
put them in their arseholes.
Yeah, didn't say that.
No, don't.
Didn't say that.
There's an age when you need to discover that.
Didn't say that. But so I showed him. I said, "There's people that make," and I said, "You know the Dodge engine." I said, "This is like the Dodge engine." He went, "Oh my gosh!" He said, "How big is that?" And I showed him a couple of videos of people revving them on a wooden plinth.
How big is it with a?
It's smaller than
like a Hemi.
Yeah, it's smaller than this. It's smaller than a shoebox.
Okay.
So like a small serving plate, let's say.
Okay.
You know, like the sort of plate you'd get at a buffet event, not a full dinner.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe this. What's that?
That's about the size of the plates that we have at home that were the cheap IKEA ones we give the kids toast on.
Okay, well then you.
So there we go. There's a very precise metric now.
Industry standard. That's what we're going to call it. So yeah, but it's carburetted. It's got real exhaust headers. It's got a tiny distributor. It is just wonderful.
Wow.
And then there's other people making radial engines like that.
The distributor alone.
I know, gorgeous.
Must be, holy shit.
Yeah,
it's all scaled down.
It's all scaled down, and some people have made
like a
V12
rotor arm, like the size of a
absolutely tiny.
Like a I was going to say.
Well, the carb is one of them made. I found it. One guy made a flat six Porsche engine, and it's about the size of a big man's hand. Sorry about that. It's not a great reference, I know.
Well, it's that thing because an asteroid fell to Earth last week, didn't it? And some people from NASA or something went, yes, it was about the size of half a giraffe.
Somebody said that. It was like, it's not a great shaped creature to reference.
I know. It's like, did it have a neck?
Because it's all neck.
Which half of the giraffe? I was thinking that. I was like, if it's the tail end, but then it's got legs. They've got really long legs. What a bizarre metric.
It's got a small body, long, thin legs, and of course a very long, actually quite wide neck, I think. I think the neck's a big muscle for a giraffe.
Yes, yeah.
Because obviously otherwise it would be a bit like, those tractors that have those weights clipped on the
front
to counterbalance whatever's on the back.
Yeah.
You'd put way too many on and then you'd unhooked whatever you were towing. The pissing thing was going like this, nodding down the road, doing a sort of like endo.
Yeah, they're a finely tuned balancing act, giraffes. They're quite big though, aren't they? Because I've seen them up close at the zoo. They're sort of, I mean, would you say...
They do a lot of side-saddle eating. Like a cow... And a camel, where the bottom jaw goes right. In fact, it's a bit like on a cam.
I know what you mean.
They chew with the bottom set of jaws. If anyone's
they're masticators, aren't they?
Is that what it is? Well, yeah,
I think so.
It's same as those steam rally people.
You mucky bastards. The scientists, I believe, said that this thing was half a giraffe. And I was like, that is a weird comparison. And I was trying to think, what would, because I was going, no, hang on, what is half a giraffe though? Is that like a fridge freezer? Or are they a bit bigger than that?
Oh,
yeah, I mean,
I would have gone for more of a cuboid or a spherical object.
But just find something that's the same size, not something that's twice the size, so you have to express it as a fraction, because that's just weird.
Daft. It's just daft.
Okay. Yes, the asteroid fell to Earth. It was about 7/8 the size of Angela Lansbury. Okay, what?
It was like Elon Musk's forearm, but not the whole arm.
Just the forearm.
Right. Well, I don't even know how big Elon. How big is Elon Musk?
He's quite tall, isn't he?
Is he a tall one?
I think he's about 6 foot. Is he? Although I don't know. I mean, he's probably not. He probably just says he is, and everyone accepts that.
There's lots of memes with his face.
Yes.
That kick around. I've noticed as he's getting a little older, if you were to sort of put your hand over his hair, so you're just seeing his face.
Yeah.
Quite a similar face to the woman that was in Total Recall that Arnold Schwarzenegger was that morphed into.
Oh,
do you remember that with the bad graphics where?
Yes,
she unlocks,
but I can't sort of picture her face enough to say.
I think Elon Musk might become the woman from Total Recall.
I mean, it would be quite meta if his head split open to reveal another face beneath it or something. Did you see?
But smaller. So a bit like when an animal sheds its skin, it climbs out of itself.
Yeah.
That still freaks me out, right?
But they're not much smaller, are they? The skin is fairly tight-fitting. One might say it's skin tight, in fact.
But no, it's still like an NBA suit.
Well, maybe a few years ago it was. Maybe snakes in the 90s had very baggy skin. And
Can you imagine that Michael Jordan climbs out of his suit and he's about a third of the size, and you'd be like, I know he is because his suit's so massive. It's just not a massive surprise. That would be a good reference point for asteroids. It's about the size of an NBA awards ceremony suit.
What? But that's huge. Oh my God! If that asteroid had hit a town, it would have wiped it out. I mean,
oh yeah, like a parachute that's significant enough that you could drop this Tesla Y out of a plane, out of a Hercules, and it would float really slowly, and not get damaged when it landed.
I think it would just hang there. So much air trapped underneath it would just hang.
Would it catch a thermal and go up?
It's just like every evening on the weather they're just going, and the Tesla's now over Nottingham, so do watch out for that. No chance of coming down.
Just like a scene out of another Fast and Furious film where the stunts are real but so far-fetched. You're just like, why is Vin Diesel now jumping from one hot air balloon to another hot air balloon to another hot air balloon?
I'm trying to think, have they ever done hot air balloons in Fast and Furious?
No, I think they're too slow, and of course it goes against the nature of the actual film. Fast and Furious featuring
slow and directionless,
featuring which is I think is the best title for Smith and Sniff's podcast.
Slow and direction.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, do you know what I mean?
It's pretty accurate. Maybe that's it. Since we're at the 100 mark, we should
rebadge
like the Rover 100.
I think it'd be like a Shelby Cobra on Space Saver tyres that someone's put nitrous kit on it when you clearly didn't need it, and it keeps kicking in. On like 10% throttle.
A nitrous kit with a really dicky connection that just randomly starts doing its thing.
But you're on like 135s. The thing is absolutely, it's like a pro bull rider where when it's released you're just hanging on by a thread and this thing's just trying to whip you constantly.
I feel like that's a good challenge. Like how trying to make the most undrivable car that you can, and
it's the taming of the wolf. I mean, or the lion. It's a great idea.
Do
you know what?
Or riding the bull. One of those bull machines you get in.
Yeah. In pubs
bars.
Usually. It's usually pubs. Sports bars.
Sports bars.
Sports.
One of those. So you've gone very because we decided to put this on camera. You've gone very on brand. You've got a Smith and Sniff hoodie on. I'm
really glad you said that, Richard. Thanks for
where would one get such a thing, Johnny?
See, we've decided, as it's the 100th episodal anniversary of the Smith and Sniff podcast, we're going to put a sale on.
Yes.
These are high quality, and this is not because we over-ordered in the first place. These are normally £45, and they are high quality, but we're selling them for £25.
That's a bargain.
It is an absolute effing bargain, but when they're gone, they're gone.
That's it.
Okay.
It's an unrepeatable offer.
Yeah.
Just 20 minutes from this cinema.
That's right, £25.
But you've also, what have you got here? You've got Carperv coffee cup.
I have, but you can buy these obviously in Smith and Sniff flavours.
What were we?
Tez. So I think, I do think. I mean, I haven't had a chance to dissect too much. I've just borrowed it. I'm going to use it. I'm intrigued by it. And the thing about Teslas that I've said a lot before, because before you get cut down by the disciples of Tesla. I think you have to point out that there's no doubt, I still think the drivetrain of this car and the software are still leading the world.
Okay, yeah.
This is a revolutionary car.
What always intrigues me about these cars is that revolutionary electronically and electrically, they're revolutionary. They are incredibly conventional structurally, aren't they? This is just a steel monocoque car.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything particularly clever about it. And I remember that guy, Munro, the people who did the teardown stuff, and he analysed the Model 3 and he said, words to the effect of it had electronics from the future and the body engineering of a 90s Kia.
Yeah, but then I guess
a pretty damning insult, I guess.
I suppose, but then again, how do you make money? Like, if this had the build quality and of a Taycan, right? Then they would all be 100+ grand.
Well,
the software of this is incredible.
Yeah.
The efficiency of the batteries and the motor are unrivaled still.
Yeah.
Kia and Hyundai, I'd say, come close.
But yes, I've always found the Kia stuff and the Hyundai stuff to be sort of the most best at predicting its own range. Did you hear that?
That's
Ferrari starting up, isn't it?
I reckon that is a Ferrari. No, and there was an Aston Martin that was.
There was a DBS, yeah. DBS. A Dubs Volante.
It's DBs. Aston Martin DBs. Later. It's just DBs, isn't it? It's just decibels.
Yeah. So I was sort of thinking about BMW i3, and I suppose that's the thing. This is supposed to be. I suppose the i3 was meant to be a mass-produced car. It was really.
Yeah.
But it had a full carbon body and everything, and that's futuristic.
It's still the dashboard of that car, design-wise, and bold, unique use of materials is still far and away beyond most.
Yeah.
If you compare that car to when you get in a VW ID.
Yes,
the ID looks like it was made 12 years previous.
Yeah.
And yet it wasn't. It's the other way around.
You can see where all the corners have been cut in those IDs.
You can. I don't think... But VW used to be really good at hiding cut corners. They were the masters of it with Golfs.
Yeah.
You just didn't notice. Whereas the ID series, you do.
I'm slightly distracted as we're talking because we're parked next to my Range Rover, and all I can see on it is all of that bloody sand that came from the sky the other day.
Did you have sky sand? I don't remember.
Did you not get it up your way?
No, we just got an incredible amount of wind and rain.
Oh, okay. No, there was one of those, when the sort of weather front comes up from the Sahara.
Yeah.
And just shit sand all over everything. Yeah. Honestly, it was because I saw it online, people talking about it, and it was raining in London. And I thought, that doesn't look very sandy. And then I looked outside later, and like our outside table, it just looks like someone dumped some sand on it. And look at the door handles on my car. Look at it.
It does look like you've had an afternoon at the beach.
I know. It's really annoying. It's even more annoying.
Where do Londoners go to the beach? Brighton.
Or we could go over to Southend.
Oh yeah.
Southend, or across to.
I was in Southend not long ago, driving the Recreation Porsche 917.
Oh yeah. I haven't watched that yet.
Which was
sorry,
very exciting.
Yeah, I know. I was quite jealous. Well, I wasn't, because I sort of, on the one hand, it's a bit like Don't Meet Your Heroes, but
it's very difficult to get into. I'm not going to lie.
I know. Were your legs splayed?
Do you know what?
I like thought a man at a steam rack
with eye holes and zip holes. Thank you. It's the Goodwood Fistful of Seed.
Goodwood Fist.
It's the Goodwood Fistful.
Well, now hang on. They could run this as a sort of sister thing. They could run it in parallel.
It's just so glorious good wood. Glorious.
Those are the posters. It's just they've got a very conspicuous gap between good and wood, and it's deliberate.
Yes,
and,
good.
And people glorious. Who know go, okay, all right. Right, yeah, I went to that slightly kinky Goodwood thing the other day. More steam engines there than I was expecting, but bloody hell, it was a bit strong.
They were driving some terrible-looking contraptions.
And those leather belts going around as well. It's
just hitting old men's spotty bottoms.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, not cool. Sorry, that's not what I signed up for. Anyway, yeah.
Well, I can't remember what else I was going to talk to you.
I was going to talk. Besides scale model engines, I was going to talk.
So, last week we were talking about Marillion.
Oh gosh, yes.
And then I was listening back to the podcast, and we were speculating on that Top of the Pops clip and how the weird perspective, it made Fish look about 20 feet tall compared to the rest of the band. Yeah. But I was like, now I seem to recall that Fish is very tall. So I went onto Google and I typed in how tall is Fish. But the thing is, it's a weird thing to type in. So I think it thinks you're an absolute moron and you're typing in how tall is a fish, because fish aren't tall, they're long.
I was going to say, assuming it can stand at any point in time.
The great white shark is nature's tallest fish. Well, there's not much in it, actually. I mean, they're all pretty sort of slender dimensionally in that. It's
such a tall fish.
What a tall fish. Wow. God, your fish has got tall, hasn't it?
That Top of the Pops clip still haunts me with just how awful it is, really. The eyes to camera.
Yeah, I watched it again after we talked about it.
Did you giggle?
Yeah, I did giggle, but I was still trying to work out that conversation we had not on the podcast about what cars the various members of Marillion drove at the
that
point
moment
they made that song, and definitely American import.
Well, at least one of them would have had an American import. Because it was the done thing.
I But yeah, either one that's far too big for Britain and just causes him constant aggro.
Yeah.
Or a really disappointing something based on a K car.
I'm going to say that. So it looks American, but it's not actually impressive American.
It's just horrible. It's just inconveniently American because it's left-hand drive. You can't get the parts for it.
No, and it's slow.
It's shit. Yeah.
I really like it. I've never owned an Alpina. I know there was a fantastic one that turned up to the Late Break Show Somerset event, and it's one of two right-hand drive. No, it isn't right-hand drive. One of two in the UK. And it's a turbo. Was it what number was it?
What was it based on?
Turbo. 5 Series.
Oh, okay.
Shark Nose 5s.
Oh, okay. So
is it 535?
Yeah, so it would have been a B. What do they call them back then?
I don't know.
Because it wasn't just B5.
The badge had been stolen. It's the only thing the car was unrestored. The interior was so leery coloured, chunky corduroy.
Was it
amazing?
Oh, was it green, like a sort of jade green?
No. I've got a picture of it. I have got a photo of it. And the guy was brilliant. The guy uses it regularly.
Oh.
And it's not mint. It's weathered nicely.
I can sort of hear that car in my head. Yeah. The lovely.
Yeah, the PR manager of Suzuki UK is a massive Alpina fanatic.
He is, isn't he?
He's got some choice ones. I don't know if he minds me saying that, but I'm going to say it. He has.
Have you seen them?
Seen pictures. Yeah, they're really nice examples. In fact, I think Top Gear have borrowed at least one of them in the past.
Oh, have they?
Yeah, for historical features and all that.
I always quite like that when PR people for car companies are really into another car company.
I like it.
It's like, it shows that they're properly interested in cars.
It does, and it's also, you're not blinkered by thinking everything that you sell is the best or appropriate for you.
The chap who does Polestar PR, he's a Saab enthusiast, isn't he?
Saab, actual offender, yeah. So, serial offender.
And there was a guy who used to run Renault PR, and then he had a Honda NSX tucked away.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh, naughty.
We won't name these people.
No, we won't name them.
Or give away their home addresses.
No, but again, it's just interesting. It's a bit like when you meet someone that has an eclectic couple of cars that are like polar opposites of one another.
Yes.
I'm always down with that.
Yeah. That's why I'm quite excited about getting my E up, because I feel like it's the polar opposite of that Range Rover.
Oh, it couldn't be further away from.
So they make a good double.
Can you afford to drive that home today?
No,
just
it needs petrol to get home.
I mean, like, you have checked the price.
My wife actually said to me, she went, "Which car are you taking to go and meet Jonny?" And I went, "Oh, I was just going to take the Range Rover." And she went, "You know it needs petrol." And I was like, "Yeah." She went, like, "Are you sure?"
Yeah.
I said, but then she's incredibly cautious about fuel. Quarter of a tank, and she's like, "Oh my god, I need to go and fill up."
Oh, that's brilliant. So she's no stranger to a slurry-filled old car fuel tank then, where you would never run it below quarter in the olden days.
Or that when I had that Lexus LS 400, the only thing that didn't work on it was a fuel gauge.
Did it?
Yeah.
Hang on. Something on a Lexus didn't work.
I know.
I don't believe you.
Because I thought the clock didn't work, but then it turned out when you saw it in direct sunlight, it was just really faded out. So that I put that off the not working list. It was just not working to an optimum level.
Sorry, the camera just keeps cutting out.
That
It's too hot.
Is really having
it's because it's in direct sunlight. It's being an absolute stroker.
Mardy camera.
So if you're watching this, as opposed to listening to this, you've actually missed maybe a quarter of the entire video.
But the
Central C. Is it something like A Whip Abroad or A House Abroad?
No, A Place in the Sun. He's just listing daytime TV shows. And then The Chase. Oh God, what is the track called? Go Around Again, something like it. Anyway, I was convinced that one of the lyrics was that he needed to have a poo. And then just went straight back on it or something like that, it's called.
Straight back on what?
When I got here, I stopped and I could still remember, and I had to look up the lyrics to make sure I wasn't hearing him. Central C was not actually just talking about needing poo. He wasn't.
You've heard that track, and I think it's by Dave, but again, I might be wrong. Arrived in a black Benz, left in a white one.
I have heard that, yeah.
It's terrible. But it's not only terrible, as Sideways Sid pointed out, a chap who's a YouTuber who listens to this podcast.
Hello, Sid.
Hello, Sid. He kindly pointed out, he said, have you seen the video to that? I went, no. He said, the thing is that he has got a black and a white Benz, but they're like sort of like mid-ranking turbo diesels. They're not, it's not like you're pointing at AMG.
Yeah. I mean, if it was an American doing that track, it would have been a couple of SLSs or something.
Oh, it would have been something Brabus and really unobtainable.
Yeah.
No, this dude's got the company car tax written all over him.
One of them's a C-Class coupe.
But it's like base engine, nothing special.
Do you remember there's that period of music videos?
It's frugal rappers, that is.
Rapping. Yeah.
It's recession.
Frugal rapping.
It's recession rapping. It's like, I'm not buying an AMG because the running costs are just ludicrous.
Look, I've had this from nearly new. Not new, that would be stupid. I bought it, I was the second owner, but I got a good deal on it.
Yeah.
It's never given me any trouble. No. So I'm just keeping it.
Is that your rap? Is that your
frugal rap?
Frugal rap. Yeah.
That era of music videos where they're always like low down camera and lots of people doing that.
Oh yeah, you're really gesticulating aggressively at.
And often one of those shots there would be a car in the back of shot, and it classically would be like an SLS with both doors up or something like that.
Bentley Arnage was popular.
Bentley Arnage was popular, but then it was around the time when UK Garage was quite a thing, and they used to do videos like that. But it was like a lot of them, the most they could afford on the budget they got was to like rent a TT or something. Yeah, and it was always just a bit unsatisfying.
Oh, of course it was. It didn't
why
quite have
are you prancing around in sort of very, very what looked like expensive clothes, but it's like it's a Focus ST in the back of shot or something. You just get it's not.
Well, they would say it's keeping it real.
I suppose, yeah.
But is it though?
Yeah, UK all night garage.
Yeah, well, UK.
In your Focus ST.
UK garage is a bit like the car's misfiring.
Yeah.